I am excited that we're going to come to you with safety tidbits and tads, just small digestible things that you can take and use whenever you want, wherever you want. Let's get started. Here's another safety tip for you for our month of safety. And one of the things that we're going to talk about is infants. Infants are near and dear to my heart, just from the amount of time that I've always spent taking care of babies and so on throughout my nursing career. And so I'm always passionate when it comes to just infants and children in general. Infant choking can be very scary. As a mother with several children of my own, I definitely have had I've had children that choked. So a couple of things to think about is when they're choking, a couple of things that you want to think about is what it sounds like, where it's happening, and what they're choking on. So to be really safe, you want to make sure that you're always watching kids when they're eating, regardless of the situation. You always want to make sure that you're there and you see what it is that they're eating, because that's the first step and barrier for them. And when they're eating, they always have to be still. So you don't grab something and then start walking and come back and so on. No, that's not what you want to do. You always want them to sit down when they're eating. Of course, toddlers are just very busy. So if they grab something, eat, have them chew it, swallow it, then they can run and do whatever they do, and then they come back and just whatever really works for your family. But whatever it is, whenever you give them something to eat, have them eat, stay there, and then they can leave or sit down or meal, whatever it is that you do in your family that works. Now, if you have an infant that happens to be choking, which can happen sometimes, a couple things that you want to think about is that when they're choking is what does it look like? When an infant is choking, what happens is their face may turn very red. And you won't necessarily be able to hear sound. So if you can hear them crying, then they're not necessarily choking, but they're coughing. But if they are trying to cough and they can't do it, then that's really a sign that they're choking. So what you'll do is you'll take your infant and you'll look at them first. If you can see something in their mouth, then you remove it. If you don't see it, then you're going to take them and hold them on your forearm. You're going to support their head with your hand. You're going to fold them over. You could preferably do it on a chair or standing up. You're going to take the heel of your hand, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're going to give them 5 back blows right in the between, just right where their collarbone is, in between their shoulder blades. Then what you'll do is you'll flip them over. If you see it, you can grab it. If not, we're going to do 5 chest thrusts. So with 2 fingers, then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you see it, you're going to turn them over, and then you would continue again with 5 back blows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, the way that you know that if the baby is no longer choking is one thing they're going to do is they may start screaming or they may start crying. Then you know that that's perfectly fine. And if they still are choking and they become unresponsive, meanwhile they're not making any movements, they go limp, then you're going to want to put them down. You're going to want to activate the emergency response system by calling 911, and then you're going to come back and tap the baby to see if they're alert. And then if they're not waking up, then you're going to go ahead and give chest compressions. So we're going to push hard and fast in the center of their chest. If you know how to do compressions and breaths, then after 30 compressions, you're going to go ahead and you're going to give them a breath. Before you give them a breath, you're going to look in their mouth. If you see something in your mouth, you're going to remove it, and then you give breaths. If you can't remove it, then you go ahead and give breaths, okay? And then you would continue with chest compressions until it arrives, okay? That's a tip for you.